Well, voting is underway in regional elections that could see a far-right party win the most seats in post-war German history. Branches of the AfD, or Alternative for Germany, are classified as right-wing extremist by Germany's intelligence agency. But the party is projected to make big gains in the eastern states of Saxony and Thuringia. The mainstream conservatives and a new populist party could also put on a strong showing. Well, the rise of the far right has been causing alarm in the east and also in other parts of Germany. In Thuringia, some 3,000 anti-AfD and anti-far right protesters demonstrated in the regional capital Erfurt, calling the far right a threat to democracy. Activists marched to the main square where the AfD held a pre-election rally. And we have our chief political correspondent, Nina Haasa, reporting today from Erfurt in Thuringia. Nina, you're in front of a restaurant, I understand, where the AfD, much of its leadership has been meeting today. They are leading in the polls there in Thuringia. Do you think the party is confident that it can convert that lead into an election victory?
Well, here in Thuringia especially, they've had a comfortable lead in the polls over the last couple of weeks, ahead of the conservative CDU party, so Angela Merkel's party, even though Angela Merkel is no longer active in politics. And this new alliance that you mentioned, the BSW, that's a far-left alliance. And so one thing is for certain, the current government coalition here in Thuringia that consists of the Left Party and the Social Democrats and the Greens, that is going to lose power tonight. Now, the big question is going to be, will that firewall hold? That is the traditional agreement between all the established democratic parties in Germany to not form any coalition governments together with this far-right AfD party, which has been labelled officially as right-wing extremist by the intelligence services. Their lead candidate, Björn Höcke, can also officially be called a fascist. That's something that a court has ruled, and for now this firewall has stood on regional level and of course also on the national level, but there are voices, especially within the conservative camp, who are saying we need a more pragmatic approach to the AfD as the party is growing in strength.
And the far right does look poised to win in this state's election. Can you explain a little bit what is behind this shift that we are seeing?
Well, as always, there are several factors. There are the particular demographics here in this region with lots of young, educated people leaving the state. But there's also the decisions by the government in Berlin when it comes to Ukraine to support Ukraine for as long as it takes in its defense against Russia's aggression. And that is something where criticism of Russia is a lot less strong here in Thuringia. So a lot of unpopular decisions being made in Berlin that people here simply don't understand, where they say we don't want this anymore. Now, that could, of course, have given the Left Party a big boost, and the very popular state premier, Bodo Ramelow, where the majority of people here say he's a good man. We would have voted for him if you could vote for him directly. But no, he's tied to his Left Party, and that in turn has been galvanized and pulverized almost by this new movement by Sahra Wagenknecht, the Alliance, a very charismatic figure who's new on the political horizon in the sense that she's founded her own party and very much campaigning on this issue of war and peace.
You've mentioned this firewall aimed at keeping the AfD out of coalitions. It seems that one way to keep them out of government in Thuringia would be an alliance between the CDU, that's Merkel's party, as you say, and this new Sahra Wagenknecht Alliance. Can you tell us a little bit more what that would look like?
That is the big question, because, of course, they do not agree on anything when you look at their party programs. Yes. Having said that, the BSW's party direction is not clear. It's a very new movement. It has a very limited amount of members so far, but they could become the kingmakers tonight, that is for sure. And they've already announced that they would even vote together with the AfD if the AfD presented some reasonable law drafts, as they put it, if it came to that. And that has so far been a taboo for all the other parties.
Another place where the AfD is expected to perform quite well is in Saxony. Michaela, you're reporting from there. Can you tell us more broadly what their success indicates about the state of national politics in Germany?
Well, it doesn't indicate as much as one would initially think, because these are two rather small eastern states, so interpreting completely German politics into this would be the tail wagging the dog. Having said that, the far-right AfD party here is having a neck-and-neck race with the conservative CDU, Angela Merkel's party, and there's a notable absence of the parties that currently form the central coalition that actually runs Germany. Olaf Scholz's governing coalition, the Greens, the Social Democrats are all in the low single digits. They might not even be in this parliament, and the Free Democrats are projected not to make it into it anyway. So it leaves the central government, Olaf Scholz, on the defensive, as he is already struggling to keep his coalition together. And it could potentially strengthen the conservative CDU, its opposition leader Friedrich Merz, if the CDU manages to come ahead of the far-right AfD party. If their candidate Michael Kretschmer, who actually has pretty good popularity ratings here, actually manages to demonstrate that, yes, it's the Conservatives who can keep the far-right at bay in Germany.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for your reporting. That was DW's Michaela Küfner in Dresden and Nina Haasa for us in Erfurt.